Five.
Start it off, Mikey.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Fighting News Live TV on this beautiful Thursday evening. This is Mike Feinberg. I'm here tonight with Matt Benalil, Steve Rothman. We've got a special guest for you tonight. Because it's Throwback Thursday, we thought we'd kind of go back in boxing history with you guys just a little bit. We have a special treat for you tonight, all right? Our guest tonight is the former IBF light heavyweight champion of the world. He fought over a span of 3 decades. He amassed 54 professional victories, 37 knockouts, multiple titles, and the aforementioned IBF strap. He fought and won bouts at middleweight, super middleweight, light heavyweight, cruiserweight. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our guest, the Road Warrior, Glen.
Thank you.
Round of applause, everyone.
How have you been?
Thank you. I appreciate it, man. How you guys doing today?
Good.
Doing well.
We're doing great. We're happy to have you on here.
Well, thanks, man. I'm happy to be on. Appreciate you guys having me.
So, Glenn, you started your professional career back in 1993, right?
Yeah, man. Way back.
The super middleweight bout, I saw there was a guy against the name of Yorick Del Rio. It was right down here in South Florida, at the Airport Hilton in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, in Fort Lauderdale, I made my professional debut. That was a pretty quick fight. I think I stopped him in the first round, if I remember correctly.
Right. So what else do you remember about that night? The jitters, everything.
I mean, you obviously, I was fighting about 3 years in the amateurs before that day, so I'm pretty comfortable knowing that I know how to fight and stuff like that. But when you're leaving from the amateurs to the pros, the headgears are off and the gloves get smaller, so it's a whole different thing. So, you're always going to have that jitter. You're always going to have that those thoughts of what it's like to get hit without the headgear. So even though I practice in the gym, sparring without headgear and stuff, but these are way more live bullets. So you have those feelings. But once I got inside the ring, I just said, "Hey, many men before me did this, and if they did it, I can do it." And I just locked in on that feeling, and I just went with that, and it went pretty successfully for me.
It seemed that way. You had a pretty nice career, my friend. I want to take the fans forward. We'll fast forward a little bit, about a decade, all right? And I want to talk to them about the match you had with Clinton Woods. I know the first one ended up being a draw.
Yeah.
That second, we're going to get to Clinton Woods in a minute because that's actually a pretty interesting thing too. But that rematch, that second fight, you were able to win that decision and get that IBF belt, that coveted belt. So they raised your hand in victory. How was that feeling?
Oh man, that was the best feeling ever, bro. Can you imagine I fight for so many years and have already at that time experienced so many bad decisions and actually starting to have doubts in myself that, man, not just the ability to win a fight, but the ability to beat the judges and have put them in a position where they couldn't take it. Because at that level, I was not the favorite. You know what I mean? I was the favorite on the De Arroyo level. When I was fighting those guys, I was the favorite. But then once I start fighting top 10 guys, those guys was mostly the favorite. And you just can't just beat those guys. You have to basically destroy them to get the victory. So, it's not that I had doubt that I could win the fight, but I had doubts, man, can I destroy them bad enough? Because that level is not easy to destroy that talent. Because, most of the time you're fighting those guys, it's even talent. So, you watch most boxing at that level, people just don't beat up the next guy. It's an even fight for the most part. Most fights are close. Around here or around there can swing the fight the next way. So when they finally raised my hand, I was in his hometown, in his backyard. Everything that you want to say about that, his fans, everything was for him. So when I finally got that decision, it felt like a whole load just lift off my back. All the naysay that said that I couldn't do it, because they always echo in the back of your head. You know what I mean? So um, that moment was glorious, man. I can't even put it into words
Yeah.
what that feel like.
Well, it's really something. I said I was going to get back to Clinton Woods because I know, as we just mentioned, the year prior or several months prior, you had that original fight with him, and it came to a split draw. Then you had that rematch where you picked up the belt with a decision, and then you fought him again a couple of years later, and another 12 rounds. You had 36 rounds with this man.
Yeah, I mean, Clinton Woods and I went to war many, many times. I felt like I beat him all three times. One went as a draw, one went my way, and the other one went his way. So they basically split those three fights between the both of us. So,
Like you needed a
but,
fourth fight.
yeah, right.
Maybe one day, Glenn.
Nah, that day is past. That day has passed. Yeah, I'm done with boxing. Me fighting, getting in the ring. But outside the ring, I'm still in boxing.
Right.
Yeah,
And
we've
I know
seen.
that Steve and Matt we're going to talk a lot about the other things that you're doing in boxing now. I'm just sort of keeping the Throwback Thursday part going here at the beginning of the show, and chiming in very, very soon with some good questions as well. But I wanted to talk about a couple other things too. So just, a lot of fans who are watching this may just be getting to know who you are. A lot of them may not have been boxing fans back in the heyday. And so I just want to kind of comment on this part because, this is something I remember. I'll never forget. Between fights 2 and 3 of that trilogy that you had with Clinton Woods, you ran off a few very notable wins, and it really put you on that map. You beat both Richard Hall and Antonio Tarver in decision wins, and the mother of all wins on your resume, that stoppage of the then pound for pound #1 fighter in the world, Roy Jones Jr. And
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
like the upset of the year, the upset of the decade, as far as most people had concerned up to that point.
yeah. Going into that fight, man, that was another heavy load for me because I always tell my friends that I could beat Roy Jones, and they always laugh at me and make fun because Roy Jones was such a powerful and popular, and also one of my favorite fighter myself. I was a fan,
Right.
but I always felt like his style and my style of fight would give him problem because he's a pop shot fighter, and pop shot fighters like to throw a punch and then take breather, like to take a rest and set you up. And then they use speed and reflex to put fear in you. So you won't attack them in the moment when they're trying to recover from the flurry that they just throw. But I was not a guy that have fear. I was not. Once I step in the ring, I was about to. I'm about that fighting, and if I'm gonna get knocked out, I'm gonna get knocked out. I'm not fearful of getting knocked out. I'm not fearful of getting beat. But you're going to have to do it. I'm not going to be in my own head and be in my own way and help you beat me. You're going to have to find a way to beat me. That was always my method and my way of fighting. So a lot of the times people didn't understand that. So when I was telling them that I could beat Roy Jones, they always, did not believe me. So when I got the fight with Roy Jones, now the pressure was on for
Yeah.
me to win, because I've been talking this noise all this time around my surroundings. And when you talk stuff around your boys, you have to go back to them. So you can't go out there and don't perform. So when I step in the ring, I came out like a whirlwind because I always knew that style of fighting Roy Jones can never fight because he will never get recovery time. And I stayed on him the whole time. And each time I go out, I recognize that I was breaking him. Every time he was trying to find that recover moment, because if you go back and watch that fight, you will see all of those spur moments when he run off his combination and he tried to pick up his speed and turn up whatever pressure and then looking for that rest time. He never got it. I was right back in his face. Even if he hit me hard, or even if he missed, or even if whatever, all the combination he throw land, I knew, right, I needed to go attack him right again. And I did that the whole fight. and eventually he start break down and he starts slowing down. And then every time I try to throw that right hand, because that right hand been there the whole fight, the whole night I've been trying. If you watch that fight, you will see how much I try to get him with that, and he would always just pick up that shoulder and then let my right hand bounce off his shoulder and go over his head. And I just try to creep in a little closer because I know I have to get close enough where I can clear the shoulder because I know he's going to pick it up. And soon as I got in close enough, I went for it.
Wait,
and it happened for me.
Hold that thought. Hold that thought.
Why was he holding that thought? Oh, because you want to talk about that part of it later. Okay.
No, we might have a video. We might be able to show that replay.
All right, we're digging that up.
If Steve can figure it out.
But
that was
we'll talk a little bit while that's trying to come up. And
yeah, that was 2004, right, Glenn? That's the year you won the Ring Magazine Fighter of the Year.
Yeah, 2004. You see, I'm trying to creep in right there.
Oh,
yeah. I've been trying to creep in the whole night, but he would always just slide back, and I would force that right hand a couple of times, and he would just pick up that shoulder, and it would bounce off his shoulder. So I just try to creep in. I tried to creep in. And then I said, I don't want to give him any indication I'm about to punch because I don't want him to slide back. And then I went for the quick 1-2 as soon as I thought I was in place.
Very nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Glenn, we talked about that 2004 as Matt just mentioned, and that was quite a year. That was quite a year.
That was quite a year. That was very, very, very exciting year for me. Very successful year, I should say.
I remember I have a friend of mine that was telling me back in the day that after you beat Tarver, you collected a pretty fat paycheck and you went on a shopping spree.
I did. I don't know about a shopping spree, but yeah, I did collect a couple of nice paychecks there.
My understanding was, you could be seen driving up and down the Hollywood streets in your new Hummer.
Well, that is true. I did have a brand new Hummer. I had two of them.
There's a little bit of truth to that rumor. Okay.
No. There was definitely truth to that. If they're talking about the Hummer, that happened.
Yeah. So the Road Warrior. I mean, you really just basically told us exactly how that name came to be. You came to fight. You weren't afraid of getting knocked out. You came to play. Whatever you had to do, you just walked in there, lunchbox in hand, ready to go.
I felt like being scared to be knocked out is never going to stop you from getting knocked out if you don't have the skill. So I just felt like if you're going to be a boxer, you just need to have the know-how, learn them, spend time in the gym and learn how to protect yourself and learn how to fight and then go fight. You can't go with skimmage. You can't be a race car driver and then drive in and have the mentality of the regular driver on the street because it's two different mindsets. If you're going to go do it, you're going to go do it or you don't do it at all.
Right.
So I want to talk to you a little bit about how you originally got into boxing. You're from Clarendon, Jamaica, right?
Yes, Clarendon, Jamaica.
All right. So
love that place.
Started for you over there.
Well, I never boxed in Jamaica. I came here when I was 14 years old in '84. My mom wanted me to come to America. She was already here in America and she wanted me to come over so I can get better opportunities because we don't have the same opportunities in Jamaica that we have here in America. That's why you see so many people from all over the world coming to America. America is a great place. America have their struggles and have all their faults or whatever, but it is the best country in the world and give every person the best opportunity to make something of themselves if you decide to work at it. So people come from all over the place trying to come to this country, and Jamaica is one of them. My mom was here trying to make a better life for herself. She thought me coming here would help me make a better life for myself, and she was correct. She sent for me. I came, and I went to school, and then after school, I started working in construction. And at the age of 20 years old, I started to grow a belly. I started to get fat and not happy with having a belly. So there was a gym. I didn't know what it was, a boxing gym. There was a gym that was preparing, that was working on it. in the community, Douglas on Grind in Coconut Grove. And I walk in there one day and say, hey, I heard there's going to be a gym here. And they say, yes, we're going to be open in 3 weeks. It's going to be a boxing gym. And it's going to be a PAL. I don't even know what a PAL mean at that time.
Yeah.
But they say it's going to be a PAL. And if you live in the community, it's free. And free fit right into my budget. So I say, I'll see you in 3 weeks.
I like that
Right.
price.
Yeah, so in 3 weeks I was there, man. And the trainer name was Bobby Baker. It was a sergeant for the Miami Police Department. And he started teaching me the boxing stuff. I started learning, and I was there every day. I did my construction work. I get off at 3:30, rush home, take a shower, and rush to the gym. And I would be in the gym by 5 o'clock, and I would train until 7, go home, take a shower. I would go run first and then take a shower and go to sleep and go to work 7 o'clock in the morning until 3. And I was there. I did that for 3 years. And after that, they decided that I was good enough to become a professional fighter. So I said, let's do it. That's where it started, bro.
But you didn't start until you were 20 years old?
No, I didn't start boxing until I was 20 years old. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and it took me 15 years to become world champion. So from the moment I started, I will stay committed for 15 years until I became world champion, because I became world champion at 35.
Yeah, that's incredible, because 15 years is, I think, beyond the career expectancy of most boxers, and to become a world champion, when starting at age 20 is kind of remarkable also.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, most guys are already world champion when they're 20 years old, 18, 19, 20. Guys are already world champion, because most boxers who are elite, they start boxing from they was like 8, some guys 7, and all these ages. So, but they box for 15 years, but 15 years they're still young, in their young 20s.
Yeah.
Not
exactly.
in their mid 30s.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say, at least, somebody had the insight to recognize your talents, even at an advanced age at that point, and, point you in the right direction, have you start going pro. I mean, we're so glad and thankful. We have some great memories of watching you fight. Can't imagine.
Well, thank you. I mean, there is a lot of hard work. I tell guys all the time, you want to be a fighter. I mean, just being an athlete, people see the moment when the athlete get the paycheck, but they don't see all the stuff that happen when they're not watching, because you only get to watch that moment when they're performing, but there's so much work when nobody is watching that you have to put in to get the point where you get the paycheck. And it's tough, and a lot of pain that goes along with that, because remember, the body only takes so much. You put the body through so many things. Everything hurt, muscles, bones, all kind of stuff start hurting. So it's a tough gig, but if you love it, and if your resources, basically that's what it is to move from where you are to get to the next plateau, you do what you got to do if you really want to move.
Yeah.
Wow. And we see you're still pretty motivated. You're still working out all the time and lifting weights and hitting the bag and running, right?
Well, that belly that I was running from when I was 20, I'm still running from that belly at 51.
It'll come right back there even faster.
He's still chasing me. That's what my bitch have not gave up. He's still chasing me. I'm trying to run from him, and he's still chasing me.
Exactly, man. That's funny.
So I was going to say, just to any listeners who are just kind of joining in, just to recap exactly who we're talking to before I turn it over to Matt here for a few questions. Listen, this is Glen Johnson. He's the former IBF light heavyweight champ of the world, 54 professional victories, 37 knockouts, 3 decades he's fought, multiple titles. I mean, victories over some of the boxing's current and future Hall of Famers, just all that in a bag of chips. So, Glen, it's great to have you on. I'm going to turn it over to Matt now. I know he has some questions about what you're doing right now these days.
All right.
Yeah, so you're training fighters at your gym. We see you at the amateur competitions, the Golden Gloves. Can you tell us about anyone that you're working with right now and how it's going?
Yeah, I'm training a few fighters at Body and Soul. They're located in the Coral Gable area, right there on Bird Road and the Douglas Road area, right by that Metro Rail station. That's where we are. We They do a lot of fitness training there and stuff, and my gig is I'm training fighters. That's my passion. That's what I like to do. I'm working with a couple of upcoming fighters. I have a couple of amateurs also that I'm working with. And I have Raphael Akajuri. He's a heavyweight from Nigeria. He's 6-0 with 6 knockout. I'm working with CJ, Courtney Jackson. He is 19-1 um, as a professional. And I'm working with Malik Lewis. He's 1-0 as a professional fighter. And then I have a couple of guys I'm working with that haven't have any amateur fights yet. They're working on the amateur debut and stuff. So they're just getting ready, just getting started. A couple of teenagers. So those guys are on their way up, and I'm very excited in the future of these guys.
Yeah, yeah, and we saw Raphael at Bad Davis's promotion, and he put on a good show. So it must be satisfying to work with guys that are up and coming and undefeated, and your other fighter there is 19-1. Tell us about that. Is that a good feeling for you when you're working with these guys and you keep seeing them moving up?
Yeah, I mean, listen. To be honest, I never thought I would get the joy that I'm getting from training. Because when I was boxing was very painful for me because I had a lot of broken hearts. When you go in and you fight your heart out, trying to win a fight, and the judges take it and give it to who they want to give it to, and it's very, very painful. So I always said that once I finished boxing, I was never going to have anything more to do with boxing because I didn't want to go through the motion roller coaster that it takes you through. But then I met this kid, and he talked me into being his trainer. And I said no, I didn't want to. I resist so hard, but he actually talked me into it because I resist so hard. But he talked me into it, and I start training him. He break me down, and I start training him. And then when I saw from the raw talent that he was, and I mold him into a pretty good fighter, and to see the image that you have in your head, you have a picture in your head what you would want the product to look like, and to see him put in the hard work and turn himself into that product that you have in your head. That was very, very satisfying. And ever since that moment, I was hooked. I said, oh man, I found my other passion. I was passionate when I fought, and I never know what I wanted to do because I actually wanted to go back into construction, buy homes and remodel them and put them back on the market. And the market crash ruined that dream. And so when this came along, I was kind of basically got dragged into it, and maybe it is for the best because I found a passion now that I'm very passionate about because it's very fulfilling when you're able to take raw clay and carve it out into a great product, into the best heart that you can find. There is a passion there that I never thought was inside of me. So I thank him every day I see him. Um, um, Malik Lewis is his name. He's the one. He's my first fighter that I start training. My first person that I start training, and he talked me into it. And every day I thank him. I tell him, man, thank you. I never thought I would be doing this, but you make me do this, and it's the second best decision. I think me being a boxer was pretty much the best decision, but this is second best decision I made.
Right. Well, we saw you at the Golden Gloves up at Palm Beach Boxing, and you seem to be. I don't know who you were there supporting, but I know you were very into it, and you seemed like you were having a great time, and you must have been there supporting someone. I don't know if it's what guy you were training or whatever.
Yeah, I go to the amateur shows a lot of time just to support a lot of guys and communities support and stuff like that. But I think at that time that you're talking, I think I had one of my fighters, name is Gio. I think he was on that card and he fought. I believe he lost that fight because that was his last fight that he had before the COVID hit. And because he had a broken nose and had to do surgery on it, so that kind of put him out for a while. And then COVID hit, so he haven't fought since then.
Right. And we also saw you were training Monica Hadwiger.
Oh yes, Monica. It was my only female fighter. I've been training her for a while. She did well in a few fights, and then she had I think one fight or two fights that she didn't do so well in, and then she met a guy and they fought in love, and that was the end of that career.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw you with her at the. She was fighting a kickboxing match.
Yeah, she was doing
Yeah.
what is that called? Muay Thai? Yeah,
Yes.
she did a few Muay Thai fight that I trained her for. She won all the Muay Thai fights that we trained for, but then she wanted to do boxing, and she fought two boxing match, which she lost both of them.
Right. Okay. Do you have any other talent you're working with? Any other up and comers or?
No, it's just mostly those guys. Like I said, I have three professional fighters that I'm working with, and I also have three amateur guys that I'm working with. So I basically have six fighters that I'm working with. I'm teaching them all I can. They're learning. Taking my time with them. CJ, he's the most experienced. He's 19-1. He lost once he was 19-0. He fought for the number one spot. Wow, again I forgot the guy name that he fought. He lost that fight, and then he came to me and I started training him, and no, I think he was 18-0, and then he lost that fight, and then after I have him, he fought one fight that he won, so that put him at 19-0. 19-1, and then he haven't fought since then. So he had like an accident. He was in some kind of bar fight or something. Somebody hit him with a bottle and cut his face, and so he haven't fought in like a year because he's still working out that issue with litigations.
Oh wow, yeah. All right. Well, it's good to see you keeping active and training. Training the next generation of fighters.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm training and these guys and teaching them all I can, and we're going to go into some promotion. October 2nd, we should be having our first promotion up in Miramar, professional boxing promotion. So I'm going to take a little small step in that direction as well and see what we can accomplish there.
All right.
Okay.
Well, make sure you tell us about the information you got. We'll promote that for you for sure.
Yeah, as soon as I know more, I get more information because we're working out the fine details now, and as soon as I get more, I definitely shoot you a word or two and let you know what's going on.
Sounds good. You have a name for the company?
Well, it's Road Warrior Promotions. You know what I mean?
There you
You
go.
know what I mean? Come on
Very
now.
nice.
Come on, I couldn't leave that name. That's what the name made me. So, I mean, I had to throw that there. So yeah, Road Warrior Promotions. We're going to make our debut October 2nd in Miramar. Out there, what is it? Amphitheater is called? Yeah, Amphitheater. So we'll see, man. It's
Road
an outdoor
Warrior
event with a
Promotions.
big canopy. So with the coronavirus, that's the reason why we chose the outside activities because you're able to have more stuff going on with the openness than in a closed area.
Yeah.
That
So
makes
so
sense.
so
Yeah.
Glenn, the last time I saw you, wow, I think it was my last fighting event before the COVID hit was the brawl at the Hard Rock, the brawl at the Rock, the 5,000 event.
Yes, definitely.
What do you think of that?
I went there to support. That was exciting. I mean, I've never really been to any of those beer knuckle event before. That was my first one. But yeah, those guys get knocked out quick, man.
Yeah,
I mean, and I heard about that too before I went to it. I heard that in boxing, fighters end up take a lot of punishment, a lot of punches with the gloves on, but with the bare knuckle, it might be more brutal, or you might get cut and stuff very quickly, or very easy. But you don't take that same kind of pounding, which I can understand that concept where you
yeah,
get hit on that chin one time with the bare knuckle and you go to sleep. So you get knocked out quick, but you don't get beat up as much.
yeah. And it was a great event. I mean, there was a bunch of knockouts.
Yeah, no, it was a great event. I
Yeah.
actually enjoyed it. I got some laughter as well because some guys was in the ring that wasn't supposed to be in the ring. I mean, that happened in boxing as well. There's plenty of guys in boxing that shouldn't be there, but at the end of the day, it is a business. Everybody got to eat food. So
You're talking
I
about the
don't.
heavy guy, right?
Yeah, man. I mean, come on. We both know when we see the guys that shouldn't be in a combat atmosphere. We know them
Yeah.
when we see them.
So let's just say they said to you, Glenn, put on a pair of gloves for charity, like they did Mike Tyson. Is 53 years old. They say, Mike, come back into the ring for a charity event to fight. Would you be interested in something like that?
Well, yeah, if it makes sense, if it's charity, if it's a charity that I believe I would support, I would get behind that charity. Yeah, that makes sense. For me, I would do something like that. But it would have to make sense.
Yeah,
As far as me boxing, or doing any kind of boxing event on a professional level to be like a real boxing fight and stuff like that, not really interested in nothing like that. My focus is mostly outside the ring, teaching and promoting. Hopefully, this promotion goes well, so I could get my feet under me, and then I can do many more. And then
yeah,
if that's the case, I just want to stick with that. I don't. I know I've been in many wars, for all the years that I fought, and I able to come out of that with my faculties being functioning correctly. So at this age now, I don't want to go out there and risk it. It could just be one more punch that I'm missing that happened in that, and then I'm walking around fighting to keep my balance, or
yeah,
talking to you guys trying to keep my words together or my thoughts together or something. So I felt like I did a good job in boxing now for about 30 years. So in 30 years, I did a good job. It will be very sad for me to go mess that up,
yeah.
messing around, unnecessarily. So yeah, I
And what do you
think
think
I'm
of,
okay.
of Mike Tyson coming saying that he wants to fight again?
Well, I mean, I think each their own. And Mike Tyson
Yeah,
must know why he want to do it and have a belief why he should do it and all of those things. Also, Mike Tyson getting a lot of money to do what he's doing. I would take that kind of risk for that kind of money just the same. I mean, if
Right.
somebody put that kind of money in front of me to take that risk, I would do it. I mean, you're talking about somebody going to give you 30, 35. They didn't give me that when I was fighting hard, when I was young and strong and doing what I was doing. So I know they ain't going to give me now. Why would they give me $30 million now to fight when they
Yeah.
want to get the least of me? Because I'm 51 years old. They're not going to get the performance they had before.
Right.
So yeah, but yeah, if somebody was giving me what they giving Mike Tyson, I don't begrudge him. I'm not going to say like, oh yeah, he shouldn't do it, or that's a bad decision,
Right.
whatever. No, it's a great decision. It's giving a man $30-something million to do anything. That's something we're thinking about, I think.
Have you seen the videos? He's looking pretty good
He looked real good. This
yeah.
actually do some good for him, because he was looking a little fat and old, and he start training and looking now amazing and young and vibrant. So
Yeah.
if anything, it breathed new life in his body. So I think it's a good thing all the way around.
How much was your biggest payday out of your 75 fights?
Come on, man. Why are you trying to dig in? Why are you trying to dig in
No, I'm
into the
just
man's wallet.
I'm
I could
curious
tell you
which
this.
one it was.
I could tell. Oh, which one?
Yeah.
My biggest payday is the Tarver fight. The second one, obviously, because if you look at how the business work, the bigger your name get is the more money you start making. So
Uh-huh.
when I fought Ry Jones, I made a couple of million, but the Ry Jones win actually put me in another atmosphere, so it made me a little more famous. Then I fought Tarver, I beat him, so that put me into another star. When then I fought him again, so
Nice.
by the time I got to him again, then I become I was a little more famous, if you want to look at it that way. So that
Yeah.
made me a little more money. So that's basically the way the step has, the way how the growth happens. So yeah, the Tarver fight is the one I make the most money in.
Wow.
I mean,
Yeah.
Fighter of the Year accolades. That's what does it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that as well. Yeah, we had some good. We got a couple of good years. I'm very thankful that everything came together.
I saw Antonio Tarver just signed a Miami prospect, Harold Calderon, to his management team. Did you see that?
I heard that.
Yeah.
I heard it. I didn't see it. I heard of it, that he made that signing, and I saw him. I think on a podcast or something where. No, actually, it was an Instagram, but it was a podcast that he did,
Yeah.
talking to some radio station and saying what he did, and he's throwing Calderon, saying that he was one of the best fighters in the world and stuff. So
I see.
for him to be saying something like that, I figure he must have a stake in it.
Yeah. Well, we wish him luck. We've
Well, I
seen.
wish both of them luck. I mean,
Yeah.
Calderon is a nice guy. I know him personally, so I wish him plenty of luck and plenty success. And everything that I would want for myself, I wish that upon him. And Tarver is a cool guy. We
Yeah.
fought a couple of times, and we remained friends after we fight, which is, he's one of a couple of guys that I fought that happened with. Most guys don't want to hear from it. Ry Jones don't want to hear from me since we
Yeah.
fought. Every
He
time
doesn't answer your phone calls.
no, every time I call him, he never pick up. He never pick up my call.
And what comes up
Tabo
on
will
his
pick
phone is guy that knocked me out.
Yeah, Tabo pick up my call. I call him, but Ry Jones, I think he pick up my call one time. I call him maybe I would say 6 times or so. I called him. He answered my call. I think the second or third time I called him, and we talked, because we were supposed to go on a tour in England, where we was going to sign autographs and have and we was going to get paid. I think that's why he called me, because
Yeah.
I mean that's why he picked up the call, because we was going to make some decent money, but it didn't. It ended up not happening. So. But he picked up my call when I called him about that. We was trying to organize it and stuff. And then I called him a couple more times after that, and he didn't pick up. So I stopped calling him.
Wow.
Wow.
So we have a question from one of our fans. So they want to know if you remember a guy named Kaz from the UK that you fought.
Cause, cause. No, I don't remember a
I don't
cause.
think it says that, Steve. I think he's saying he might not remember because my friend.
Yeah, he said he might not remember because my friend was from UK. What's your friend's name?
I don't know the name.
Mike, what's your friend's name? If you're still listening.
Let me ask you while we wait on that, Glenn. So, with all the training you have going on, I know a lot of people are struggling with COVID-19 restrictions, are having a difficult time trying to actually get that training done. Are you seeing a lot of a lot of obstacles with trying to train your fighters nowadays?
Yeah, is especially this week been tough. A lot of the fighters they're complaining about trying to train with a mask on. But it's difficult. I've tried it myself, trying to train with the mask. It is tough to do, but it's the new normal, and they just I tell them, I said, listen, what you want to do? Do you want to get sick, or do you want us to want them to come and shut us down? Or you want to just struggle through it, and eventually you will get used to it. It's going to be tough in the beginning. Anything you try to do in the beginning going to be hard. I
Yeah.
understand. Everybody, we all used to our freedom, and restriction on our freedom is not something we want to adapt to. But this is about trying to stay safe as well. So and we have a big boom that's happening right now. So I would like to see everybody comply so we can level out this thing and get it down. So, we can actually start move around a little more freely. With this thing spiking, that's kind of getting our way of freedom.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I would think training with the mask on probably helps your builds your lungs more. No?
Yeah, but the problem is I have a couple of guys that I train that's in the medical field, and they totally against it. They saying all of the carbon dioxide that you're blowing out, and you're actually breathing it back in, and that's not good for you. One of my guy, he have what is it, asthma? Yeah, he have an asthma problem. So
Right.
him using the mask is really against what he want to do, and he's explaining to me today all of his asthma problems, and um, all of what he feel like breathing in back the carbohydrate that your body release and whatever. And I said, listen, man, I understand all of what you're saying, and I'm not a medical person. Not pretending to have all of the understanding, but this is the rules. So you just gotta work with it. Use it for a little bit, move it and breathe, put it back on and work, move it and breathe, put it back on and work. Do whatever you need to do to get through it, but we just got to do it.
Well, what's that mask
Right.
that some people wear that actually is for breathing too?
Yeah, I know that they came up with a mask which I was always against.
Yeah.
Which supposed to be like you was in high altitude
High altitude, yeah.
and stuff. I was always against that because I would never like anything that restricting your breathing. That
Yeah.
doesn't make sense to me. I always said if you wanna get your body in shape, work hard and get your body in shape. That's how I did it, and it works for me. I was always in shape. Nobody can ever say they watch my fight and I was out of shape and not working, not fighting well or not doing. I fought even in my old age. I fought till I was like 49 or 40, yeah, 48, I think, when I retired. I was 48 years old, and my last fight, I still threw more punches than the young guys them in my weight class. So all you have to do is just work hard and stop looking for shortcuts. People who keep looking for shortcuts to do things that they need to do, and that's what's getting in the way.
Yeah. The
Right.
name of the fighter from UK was Clint Woods.
Yeah,
You
we
remember
discussed
fighting
that
him?
earlier.
Yeah,
very
yeah.
surprised
I remember
when
Clinton Woods. I fought him 3 times. How can I could forget
Mhm.
plenty of other people I fought, but not Clinton Woods. We fought three
right.
times.
Yeah, Mike must be.
I might not remember. Really, what is it? Rick Derrio, whatever his name was. That one, that the guy that I made my debut with, and a couple of other guys around in that time frame. Cause but Clinton Woods is not a guy I could forget his name.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah,
He
Yeah,
wasn't.
it's got to go back to the beginning of the show and hear about the
Yeah,
story that
yeah,
he
but
tried to
Yeah, well,
say.
so you say Clinton Woods is his friend?
Yeah,
yes,
Well, tell him I say what's up to Clinton Woods for me. Clinton Woods, big up, big respect.
he's
yeah,
listening to the podcast, so
yeah.
he's
And Mike, go back and watch the beginning of the show afterwards. We were talking about him. We talked about him right in the beginning of the show.
yeah.
But
Mike belongs to a boxing union. Glenn, did you hear about that? The boxing union.
Nah, I think that's a good thing though. But so he's involved in a boxing union.
He's involved in a boxing union. Yes,
Oh, that's an awesome thing. What are they what are they platform? What are they doing? What is their
they're helping boxers in a
No, I
lot of
know
ways.
that, but what are the stuff that they're doing? Are they a union that they are working with fighters and trying to put a pension plan together? Are they a union to make sure that fighters are getting treated right by the promoters and the managers? Or
They're
what
trying.
what
They're
exactly is their
trying
platform?
everything. They're trying to do
Okay,
everything you just mentioned. Even retired boxers.
right.
They're they're trying to help retired boxers as well. The BMMAFU is the name of it. And we had them on the show, and this guy, Mr. Russo, they had a lot of great things to say.
Oh, that's awesome.
The a lot of what's it called, Matt? The retired boxers that they sell. They sell these round hoodie sweatshirt,
Okay.
and they give the money to. They raise money for retired boxers.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
That's something that I like, something that I thought about doing myself. As far as the retired boxers, what I had in mind is, looking for different avenues to give retired boxers jobs. Um, like how the NBA and the NFL, all of these ex players able
yeah,
to go and they become reporters, or they become guys who talk on ESPN about their sport and stuff like that. We need to come together and create some kind of a platform where retired fighters can have similar things to do. Instead of they just get through. Now they are seeing a couple of ex-world champion who are not doing so well, and really
right.
break my heart to see some stuff like that. So I would really like to see if any way that we can put something together and do something like that. So yeah, that's something I'm truly interested in.
Yeah, that's great. Try to get them jobs and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's the main thing is to find different ways to create a platform that these guys can make a living. Handouts is not the way to go, but a way how they can actually earn their stuff, and also some financial experience and teaching, because a lot of times guys make money and you don't have any schooling or any understanding. You never had money before, and then you just find yourself with money. So you need to, if somebody don't school you about having a good financial advisor, or stuff like that, or you yourself get some schooling about how to go about your finances, you can find yourself in bad situations. So all of those things are also things that I'm interested
Yeah.
in doing once I get my feet under me and get
Yeah.
moving. So I want to try to do things in the boxing world a little different and try to follow the platform that I see the NBA and the NFL and all these other successful entity is working with.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be great.
It's something that I've been talking to trainers and ring doctors and things about for the last year or so, because when I'm not doing this, I do financial advising on the side, and I put together insurance plans and things like that. And I've been trying to cater to fighters specifically, just because there's such a need for that. And
I
it's
definitely believe that. Yeah.
so it's definitely something I'm interested, in talking to you more about. If you want to talk about that at some point in the future when you're ready.
Oh,
And
definitely. Oh,
as far
definitely.
as the as far
Because
as
it's so,
gentlemen,
these managers and promoters, they're way more interested in stealing from the fighters than they are about making a difference in the fighter's life and the fighters' kids and next generation life. They don't care. Everybody is about me. Everybody grabbing for them right now. And the managers and promoters have so much more money than the fighters, and they're still robbing the fighters. So it is
And the
something that,
sanctioning bodies too. The sanctioning
well,
bodies
that is
also.
yeah, that is true. That's definitely true. So yeah, without those are things that I also I definitely want to look into different ways how to help the fighters hold on to as much of their money as they can.
right?
Yeah, or
Yeah,
even
as far as
the platforms, ESPN or DAZN.
Yeah,
Because when it comes
exactly.
down to it, who's the real employer? You know what I mean? There's so many people
Yeah.
that are making money off of a fighter.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
the
Yeah,
promoters, the sanctioning bodies, the
the
television.
TV network, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, they need to have a platform that fighters can come and get a job and talk and. So yeah, but these are things that you have to do when you're making deals with these um um TV companies. Or they want to be Showtime, because HBO left the game, but ESPN and all these people, when you sit down at the negotiation table with these guys, that's something that you have to try and negotiate in your deal, where give me a half an hour, so I can put different champions on here to talk about X guys and future champions and present champions can come and talk about boxing, talk
Yeah.
about what they
What
want to do and all of these things. So we just got to think outside the box and try to create a little bit more space for these guys to operate. And it also helps fighters become more famous. And if you have more fame, you generate more money. So it's a plus for everybody. The network also should be happy about that, because if they help show the face of these guys and their network all the time, that those guys become more famous, and when they have them on in a boxing match, they will also generate more money because they get a part of that revenue just the same.
yeah.
So it's a plus for everyone.
What was your feeling, Glenn, when HBO stopped doing boxing?
It was a blow. I really, that was very hurtful for me to see happen. I felt like I mean, I don't know what their real reasons are. They talk about it got too diluted. That sound to me like a greedy person statement. But I don't know for sure. They didn't like what the zone was doing and other different ways of um, at a different platform that was coming up, new on the rise anyway.
Yeah.
So they left because they felt like it was too much competition, which I think it was a coward way out.
Yeah. For sure.
yeah. I miss that HBO fights for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I thought there was one of the better platform, but they left us. So be it. I cancel my HBO
Yeah,
yeah,
right away.
there's no point now to have it. What are you
Yeah,
watching?
that was the only reason why I had it.
The guy said to give them a call. Charles Russo, give him a call. Look him up on Facebook. Glen, they said you'd be a great asset to them. Helping out the retired boxers for sure.
Yes, text me that information when we get off the thing. Just send it to me in my thing.
We will.
And then I'll reach out to them and talk to them. Yeah, I mean they're always gonna try to uplift boxers, present boxers, future boxers, ex boxers, whatever, man. Boxing, I want to do as much as I can for it.
Sounds great. So we were supposed to have the Golden Gloves in Florida due to Corona. The Golden Gloves, we didn't get a chance to see the young amateurs, in the Florida Golden Gloves. But it's let's just hope that like you said, the boxing gyms are allowed to be open and to full capacity. When we're back to normal, let's have more boxing events for sure, and for sure in South Florida.
Well, yeah, I mean that's one of the problems that's happening now. While the boxing is not as big um, down here in South Florida like it used to be. When I was
Yeah,
coming up, we fought every other week.
yeah,
Like every weekend there's some kind of amateur boxing event. Now you go months without having a boxing event.
yeah.
That's a big change and a big change in growth with these young guys. They don't get enough fights. So we would like to change that. But again, I'm just starting out in this promotion thing. If it works well for me, that will also give me opportunities to do some amateur shows as well.
Did you ever go to any of the Carter Park events
Carter
down there?
Park. Carter Park. Where's Carter Park? Is that on Sunrise?
It's Fort Lauderdale. I don't know the name of the neighborhood that it's
I think
in.
it's Sunrise, Carter Park. Yeah, because I've been into a couple of parks. That's where Chico Gym is.
Yes,
Right,
Chico's
that's what
Gym.
Chico's
Exactly,
doing.
exactly.
No, I've been to plenty events there. Yeah. Plenty boxing events there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
I
put
like
on a
those.
good show.
That's great. They're outside. They.
Yeah,
It's
exactly. Yeah, I have, listen, I told you now, I go to and support all of these amateur events. And like anytime I know there is one, I always try to making an effort to go there. If I don't know, if they have it and I don't know about it, then it's hard for me to be somewhere I don't know happening. But if I know about it, I always
yeah.
make my best effort to be there.
That the WBA event, that night of future champions that they had down at that high school in Miami. Remember that, Mike?
Yeah, right.
Um, yeah, I don't remember that though. When was this? Was I there?
No, you weren't there. It
Oh,
was.
okay.
I think you were supposed to be there. I think I remember seeing your name on one of the press releases
Yeah.
because Tarver was originally on there also, and guys like Keith Thurman. But it ended up Louis Ortiz was there and Rigondeaux and a couple other guys. But it was Don King was there, and it
Okay.
was a great event. It was like Team Florida and Team Puerto Rico. So they had a bunch
Oh,
of
cool.
amateurs from Puerto Rico coming over, and it was sponsored by the WBA. The vice president was there, and they gave out belts. It was a nice event,
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
they had males and females. So
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I didn't have much to do with the WBA, but I'm awesome to hear them doing something like that. That's very nice.
yeah,
I've never fought for a WBA title. I fought for the IBF and WBC. WBA, and I had never ended up fighting for that title.
You
yeah.
still have the belts in your house?
Oh yeah, I still have those belts.
Do you have a room? Do you have a room you keep them in? You keep them by the side of your bed? Where do you keep them?
No, I actually have them in a case. They are like they send these belts to you in a case, and I
Yeah,
have them in their original cases that they came in the closet.
in the
But
closet. Okay,
yeah, in the
you need
closet.
to display those bad boys.
Yeah, I keep saying I'm going to put a display that trophy thing. I'll
Yeah.
just keep saying I'm gonna do that, but I never got around doing it. But yeah, I'm gonna get it done
You know
One of these days.
Sam Cohen?
one of these days, huh?
You know Sam Cohen?
Sam Cohen, yes.
Yes. So he's got some boxing display in his house.
In his house, yeah,
Yeah,
I've
it's
been
like
to
a
his
museum.
house.
You've been there.
Yeah. I've been there. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
gone there a few times for doing some signing for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been to his house. Yeah, he have a big display. Him and his wife been up there a few times to their house.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. I need to do something similar. I need to do something like that. I keep saying I'm gonna do it. I just haven't got around to it.
All right. Well, Glenn, it was great talking to you. They have ESPN that has the top rank card on tonight, and we're gonna go. We're gonna go and watch that.
Me too.
We've been on an hour, and when we try and upload these things to YouTube, when it gets over an hour, man, it gets to be a real problem. So it does, and I hate it because I have to upload it 2-3 times, and it takes hours each time.
Right. Like
So,
that. All right. Well, nice talking to you guys.
Yeah, good talking to you.
Yeah,
any final words?
Man, just look out for the Road Warrior promotion, and I'm training my fighters, and I'm hoping they'll be great. So yeah, just pay attention to the Road Warrior promotion. We on our way up. We're doing our first thing.
definitely.
So we on our way up. So just pay attention to that Road Warrior promotion. Don't forget
all the way up. Let's go. Thank
Absolutely.
you so much.
Sounds
Thanks,
great.
guys. That was
Okay.
awesome.
Road Warrior,
Thanks,
man.
Glenn.
Talk to you
See
soon.
again.
All right. Thank you, Glenn.
Thank you.
Good night.
So we had the famous Glen Johnson on. Wow, what a great night of interview. Tune in next week, Matt. We got a bunch of sponsors that are coming on to the show.
On board.
And great show, guys. We'll talk. Mike, any final
Also,
words?
shout out to what night is Luis Melendez fighting? Is that the 12th?
I don't know what night.
July 12th.
I don't know what night he's fighting.
Yeah, I think it's July 12th. No, the 14th. Yeah, it's the undercard of the Jamel Herring fight.
Oh, okay, yeah, right. That's the date for that one. Tonight.
Yeah, I got it right. Yeah, it's July 14th. It's from Las Vegas on ESPN. The title fight is Jamel Herring and Jonathan Oquendo, but Michaela Myers also fighting on it. Helen Johnson, and then that guy Clay Collard. All right, he's the one that just he's the MMA guy that knocked out those two prospects, up and comers, and then El Chucho, Luis Melendez. So that's a pretty good card.
Yeah.
July 14th.
Tonight it was Big Baby Miller. This was supposed to be his fight again tonight, but with a positive test, he got pulled, and so now you got Carlos Takam. He gets the highlight tonight, so hopefully he can prove that he's still one of the top guys in that division. We'll see what he can possibly do. But yeah, as far as final words, I was going to say to you guys, you guys did see that that Mike Brown tested positive for COVID.
Yeah,
right?
the coach.
Yeah, so he won't with Masvidal. He won't be traveling. He's not going to be in his corner.
Yeah,
for the fight on Saturday night.
Right.
So it's
but what a break for Masvidal, man! What a break for him to get that call and now fight for the title.
I think it's in the contract, Matt. He got a few fight contract and an instant rematch in the contract if he loses, with a full training camp.
A rematch clause.
A rematch clause.
Okay.
Really?
Sources say, listen, if I'm going to fight this guy on no training camp, I want a rematch.
Yeah,
with a full.
I want a rematch.
Camp. And,
no, it makes sense.
Yeah, I think they gave it to him. So
it makes sense. It makes. Yeah.
The odds are 3-1 favorite for Usman. So.
Yeah, Usman is Usman, man. He's a fighter.
Well, he hasn't lost
years,
right?
Yeah, he's on a and he's his takedown defense is the best ever, in the
All right.
history of the UFC.
Yeah, I mean,
We're gonna
as
end it.
far as-
We're gonna end it here.
Yeah, I was just going to say, as far as our guest tonight, we're so happy to have had Glen Johnson on there. For those of you, once again, who tuned
Glenn's the
in
best.
and missed him, where were you? But yeah, we had the former IBF light heavyweight champ of the world on with us for the last hour. Great fighter, 54 professional victories, 37 knockouts, multiple titles, the aforementioned IBF strap as well. Knocked out Roy Jones Jr. back in the day. Was one of the biggest upsets known to man in boxing. And, we're lucky to call him a friend and have him down here with us in South Florida, where we run into him very often. And if you haven't checked out his fights or know much about him, please go and grab YouTube, take a look at it, see some of the things he did. Fighter of the Year in 2004. Check out some of those fights. Once again, we're very happy to have had him. And Matt, Steve, for myself, we're really happy to have all of you having watched the show tonight. Tune in next time. I know Matt's going to get that set up and prep for us. What we got next time, Matt? Who we got coming on?
Surprise, man. It's a surprise.
It's a surprise. All right. Thank you, the Fighting News fan. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on our website at thefightingnews.com. And you know something? Follow us. Like, subscribe, talk to us. We want to hear the comments on all the avenues.
All right, guys. Top Ranked Fights on ESPN right now. Flip the channel. Go take a look.
Trying to get out of here, man. Be good. Good night, all. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in.
Have a good night, everyone.